Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you are doing well, and today we're going to be talking about probably one of the worst lists that have ever been put together when it comes to talking about Marvel films. This by Peter Bradshaw over at TheGuardian.com. Now, we've had a couple of articles from The Guardian recently that have really made me start to scratch my head thinking to myself, is this really a legitimate news source? Is this just shill media? And really, how much identity politics can you actually shove into a list for the best movies, your favorite movies? And notice how it's not even saying, this is very important, it is not saying my 20 favorite Marvel films. That's easy. That's obviously preferential. This is saying the 20 best Marvel films. Now, of course, it still does merit some, or rather requires subjectivity, which this guy again admits to being subjective in this way. The problem though is that when you put that title, the 20 best, what you're trying to say is that in your professional opinion that these are indeed the best films. Now, let's start off with a positive note. I think that anyone who knows anything about movies can agree, yes, Ghost Rider 2007, even though I would not consider it to be a part of the MCU, is probably one of the worst Marvel properties to be put onto the big screen. However, at the same time, it is damn near entertaining. But here is where we start to see just the absolute madness to this film, to this list. I mean, again, this is not someone trying to say these are my favorites, these are how I enjoy them. This is a person trying to say this is the movies that he thinks to be the best. Right next to Ghost Rider 2007, right next to Ghost Rider, freaking Ghost Rider, is Ant-Man 2015. Are you kidding me? Ant-Man 2015 was probably one of the best surprise hits of that year. It did extremely well at the box office for its budget. It did extremely well with audiences. People went in not expecting much and came out saying, oh my God, this was so good. But Ant-Man? You're going to put Ant-Man at number 19? Number 18? You're going to put Spider-Man Homecoming? Probably one of the best iterations of Spider-Man? Oh my goodness gracious. No, but you know, couldn't possibly, because but The Guardian really does let us know what it is, you know, what it stands for by this headline right here. Conservatives are terrified of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and so they should be. Yes, we should be, because she says, oh my goodness, everything should be free. How are we going to pay for it? you just pay for it. Yeah, we should be terrified. We should be terrified of people like this who put Ant-Man next to Ghost Rider in their list. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you out of your mind? In what universe are you living in that you think that there is not much light and day, or rather, not much light or darkness between these two films? You have got to be kidding me. Then it has Spider-Man Homecoming. X-Men Days of Future Past should be so much higher on that list. X-Men Days of Future Past was probably, like, again, I go back and forth between that and First Class, to be honest. To be perfectly honest, I love First Class, but I think Days of Future Past should definitely be higher on this list. Original Spider-Man, I can respect that. Original Iron Man, number 15? Are you kidding me? That is easily a top 10 movie. Thor. Okay, I can understand that one. I'll give you that one. I personally love Thor. As Odin, of course, I love my son, and I love Thor, and I think Thor is great. However, I can understand why that would be not be nearly as good of a movie compared to other people. Doctor Strange. I don't know why Doctor Strange is a little bit higher. I would not put Doctor Strange above the original Iron Man. Again, I like Doctor Strange, but once again, Logan at number 12. That's kind of low. Infinity War at number 11. Infinity War, the most successful Marvel film to date. Oh my goodness gracious. This is just Deadpool number 10. Ant-Man and the Wasp ahead of the original Ant-Man and Deadpool and Infinity War and Logan. Yeah, this list right here. And here's where we start getting into it. X-Men, top 8. Okay, I can at least respect that one. Iron Man 3. Look, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I love Shane Black. I'm actually one of the few people that liked Shane Black's Predator. Why? Because I knew it was going to be a Shane Black film that just so happened to have Predator in it and not an actual Predator movie. I know the original Predator is leaps and bounds better, finally having seen the movie, but I can say overall that Iron Man 3 is not a top 10, let alone a top 7 film. The original Avengers film, okay. Again, makes sense. Guardians of the Galaxy makes sense. Spider-Man 2? I understand that Spider-Man 2 might be the favorite as far as the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, but you're saying that Spider-Man 2 is better than Guardians of the Galaxy, the original Avengers, the original X-Men, Deadpool, Infinity War. Again, I have to keep going back to the ones that he put below these numbers. And here is where we really get into the nitty-gritty, because we have Spider-Man 2, and then here's what we have right here. This right here. Blade 2 and Black Panther come in at number 3 and 2. I'm sorry. This dude right here, this white man right here, is obviously trying to compensate and is obviously trying to put some kind of SJW, NPC, identity politics message out there, because you cannot tell me that Black Panther is the second best film ever of all of the MCU films. I'm sorry, it's not. Guys, for anyone out there that's still thinking that Black Panther is the best thing since sliced bread, I'm sorry. Is it good? Yes. It's a B-level film. Or is it one of the best films ever made? No. Does it mean that it can be one of your favorites? Yes. See how there is a difference. You can have something be objectively better, but also at the same time, you can subjectively enjoy the one that might not be objectively better. That's totally fine. Once again, this is a guy that's trying to say the best films, not his favorite, the best films. Language is very important here. Language is very key. But Blade 2 over 1, the original Blade isn't even on the list. Blade 2 is somehow on this list, even though I would not really consider it to be, again, wouldn't consider that to be a part of the MCU, which means there are other MCU films that have been left out. There are other MCU films that have been left off of this list. For example, X-Men First Class. This man and Thor Ragnarok. Okay, look, I respect Thor Ragnarok. I loved Thor Ragnarok. I thought it was great. It's in my top 5. But this is ridiculous. The fact that he's got Black Panther, Blade 2, Spider-Man 2 in his top 5. He has Iron Man 3 in his top 10. Ant-Man and the Wasp in his top 10. He's got outside of his top 10 Infinity War, Logan, the original Iron Man, Days of Future Past, Homecoming, the original Ant-Man. Are you out of your mind? This to me is just an absolute ridiculous list. I saw this list and I thought to myself, I have to make a video on this because I don't talk about movies enough. I don't talk about individual movies altogether. And look, Ghost Rider absolutely should be number 20. But here's the other problem too. Notice how there are several MCU films, again, not just Marvel films, there are several MCU films that were left off this list to make room for Ghost Rider. And his reasoning, no list of Marvel films or of any films can be without Nicolas Cage. Here he plays the terrifying Ghost Rider. By day, stunt motorbike rider Johnny Blaze. By night, a flaming skeleton forced by Satan to ride around collecting souls for hell on his lethal chopper. So this guy is giving a positive review. This guy is saying that this film, again, best Marvel films ranked. He is saying that this is better than any of the other Marvel films that he failed to mention, that he failed to list. I'm sorry, but the original Hulk film leaps and bounds better than Ghost Rider and leaps and bounds better than a couple of other movies on this list. And yet you're trying to say this is your definitive best, not favorite, but best list of Marvel films? Oh my goodness gracious. Guys, what are your thoughts on this list? Do you agree with it? Do you agree with the fact that he's got some of these great iconic movies? Iron Man, again, the one that got it started off, that really just pushed everything into the direction that we currently have it in, down so low. The fact that Logan, Infinity War, outside of the top 10, not favorite, but best. Deadpool, glad to see that in there. No Deadpool 2. Again, he put Ghost Rider in over Deadpool 2. You could say what you will about Deadpool 2 not being as good as Deadpool, because I agree with that, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then Ant-Man and the Wasp better than the original Ant-Man? Logan being lower than all of these? You're putting Iron Man 3, Spider-Man 2, Blade 2, Black Panther? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is just another NPC move? Because this is, honestly, from The Guardian, I'm not really surprised by that, especially when you saw that link to that Ocasio-Cortez article, and it just really is not surprising, the fact that you will have these people come out and try and say, oh, this is my definitive best film list, and then they'll try and say, well, it's just my opinion. Okay. We can understand that there is always going to be a level of subjectivity when you are ranking films. That is obvious. But don't go out of your way to say the 20 best Marvel films and then just list your own personal favorites and totally ignore, objectively speaking, better films, and then put ones that are objectively questionable in your top 10 over others. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You are all amazing people. I see nothing but identity politics, especially with the number 2, number 3s. But I know people, oh, they're racist, 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 racist. So go ahead and say it all you want. I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me that Blade 2 and Black Panther are better than I would say half of the movies that are listed on this list. I'm sorry. Like, get your head out of the fact, like, the problem with identity politics today is that you focus so much more on race and representation, all these other things, that you let those things trump story and character development and effects and everything else that is objectively important. I'm sorry, but diversity and screen representation is not an objective quality to a film that makes a film good or bad. Now, your own personal perception, your own subjective view, and your own subjective thoughts on a film, absolutely, those factors can come in. Again, multiple factors should be able to come into that. But the problem with the NPC SJWs in today's world is that they are now trying to make gender equality and racial equality and all these other things objective realities, or rather, not even that, because again, there's nothing wrong with those things. There's nothing wrong with diversity. There's nothing wrong with any of that. The problem comes when it's being forced. The problem comes when you're putting that above other things, or when you're trying to say that a film is good or bad, and this is where the direction that they're going. They are now saying that a film is good or bad based on the diversity of the cast, based on the diversity of the story, based on the diversity of the people behind the camera. And I'm sorry, but that is not, from an objective standpoint, how you grade film. Because if that is how you grade film, you are fully embracing identity politics, and that is a dangerous, dangerous road. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.